can't even see. Hello, everybody. Marcel Andreas. Thank you for coming in here. Hey, how's it going? Hey, Nicole. Happy rising. Sorry, guys. I gotta make sure this is set. There we go. Yeah, it's been a while, man. I've been, hey, Kathy Smith. Hey, Paul. Thanks for being here. Great rising. Yes, guys, I've been MIA for a minute, working on some things, and then I had to go out of town, for a last minute. Hey, totally, Laura Husson. Good to see you in here. Laura Husson is awesome. Had a chance to connect with her recently. She's, I've known her since Periscope, but she's phenomenal person. Check her out if you want to rebrand your website and, get your website stuff up and get your life together. Just check her out. I've been MIA for a minute. Good morning. Hey, what's going on, Kim Inspired? I've been MIA for a minute. First, I had a huge project I was in the middle of doing, and in addition to that, I had to go to a funeral, last minute. It was actually, you see your message? Okay, yeah, cool, Cynthia. That's awesome. Good to see you in here, Cynthia. Thank you guys for being in here. So I went to a last minute funeral, that came out of nowhere, and that was actually my first. I've never been to a funeral until this past weekend. So, and it was beautiful. Thank you. It was a beautiful experience, and I'll talk a little bit more about it in a second, but, and then this kind of what leads to the point of legacy. What's going on, Janae? Good to see you. So, I thought I was missing, one missing, wipe sweat. Oh, I thought I was the one missing. Oh, great rising. Good to see you, Candace. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. It was actually a relative, of my lady. So, but long story, I won't get into that, but you're in Richmond. Oh yeah, cool. Reach out to me. Make sure you reach out to me, Anthony. We talked about this before. Yeah, thank you. We talked about this before, so let me know when you're in town. Guys, do me a huge favor. Before I introduce myself, do me a huge favor and invite your friends and followers. Let's get a bunch of people in the scope. It is cold here. That's why I'm wearing this, we call it a toque in Canada. But some people call it a hat or whatever you call it. Invite your friends and followers, swipe up, share the broadcast. That's what I asked of you guys. Share get your friends and followers in here. Let's get a number of people in here. I want to talk a little bit about legacy and the importance of it. And this, just to remind, a beanie, yeah, we call it beanie here, I guess. Yeah, I call it a toque. And I want to basically remind you and inspire you and hopefully get you guys thinking a little bit more about outside of yourself based on what's happening around you. For those who don't know who I am, if you're new to my scope, do me a favor and put a 1 in the chat box. Please do me put a 1 in the chat box if you know who I am. If you're new to my scope. Ring Lawn Care, love it. Cool, thanks for being in here. Pinks and Box, thank you. Daryl Mark, thank you for being in here. Mrs. Willis, thank you for being here. What are you talking about, Mrs. Willis? I'm kidding. Thanks for being in here. Went to the bookstore about The Alchemist. Awesome, Candace. I hope you love it. Hey, good to see you, Millionaire Talk. Oh, this is awesome. Thanks for being in here. I really appreciate you showing up. This is awesome. Yes. Millionaire Talk. He's a cool dude. Follow him as well. What you talking about, Mrs. Willis? Kidding. Hey, Sister Brown Eyes. Good to see you. Yes. So, as I mentioned earlier, I was at a funeral, my first funeral. I wasn't sure and I didn't want to necessarily put it out there per se, but, so, a relative, a close relative of my lady happened last minute, and we ended up having to leave, to go out of town for that. So that's kind of I'll leave it at that. And because it's her business, I want to share it. Hey, Beth Hoover, thanks for being in here. D. Mungro, good to see you as well. Thanks for being in here, guys. I'm going to make this quick because I have a long day to catch up on a bunch of things. But so for those who don't know who I am, my name is Ebongeka. I'm a certified public accountant in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm also the author of the best-selling business book, Start Me Up, The No Business Plan, which can be found at Barnes & Noble's, Amazon, or at startmeupbook.com. It's also published in Canada as well as the U.S. as well as Indonesia. Now, I'm also the founder of Economics. So you see the economics in my title. My last name is Eka. I focus on your mission, your mindset, and your money, and the importance of all those three things being congruent. Now, what does that actually mean? I work with small businesses to help them through their business, to help them actually maximize their revenue and their profits, primarily focusing on their systems and their pricing, as well as their idea and solving problems. But today, the things I talk about on Periscope is motivation and small business entrepreneurship. For the most part, those two things are congruent. Understanding the importance of your life and what you're doing and what you leave behind. And that leads to my message today about leaving a legacy. So I mentioned earlier, I was at a funeral and I ended up seeing a lot of people coming together. And although it was a sad time and people were crying, the thing that I saw that resonated more than anything else with me from a sense of joy was the fact that when people come to wish you goodbye when you're gone, is like they look at the legacy you left behind. They start talking about the things you did that moved them. They start talking about the memories of the experiences. They rarely talk about the toys you bought them. They rarely talk about the TV you bought them. They don't talk about the things that the tangible things that were given to them. They talk about the emotion they felt, and they're able to recreate that emotion when they're telling that story. Every single time you know somebody who you haven't seen in a long time, or someone who's passed away, whatever it is, there's a level of emotional and spiritual fortitude that's being recreated because it's shared. Remember when he did this? Remember when she did that? That's what happens. But so what it reminded me was a few very simple principles. As we're sitting here talking about him, what ended up getting me thinking a little bit differently was like, look at all, one man's, the term is one man's family, and you look at how a lineage can be created, and that leads to a legacy of things. Not only to a legacy of your community, a legacy of your family, a legacy of the people who are around you, your environment. What greatness can you bring to the world while you're still here? You see what I'm saying? And so like, what are you doing while you're here that you can provide to other people and share a message with other people so that when you go, they're coming and talking about the same thing in life. They're not talking about, the cars you had or the homes you had or what you've done today or any of that crap. What they're talking about is how did you make them feel? It doesn't matter if it's a beggar. It doesn't matter if it's a prince. And so a couple tips I want to leave with you guys is this. A lot of times when, Randy Pausch, if you guys are familiar with Randy Pausch, he was that professor, I think from Carnegie Mellon, who had pancreatic cancer, and he had like a month or two to live, and he had this famous lecture that he gave, his last lectures. You can go Google that. But one of the things he talks about is people always say that you're beating the reaper if you're staying here longer. But the reality is this is not necessarily how long you live, it's how you live. And Jim Rohn always says, it's not how long you live, it's how you live, right? Whose lives are you changing? Whose lives are you touching? And so, if you get nothing from me as you leave this scope, if you get nothing from me, the thing that I want to empower you with is to think about whenever you're worried about that next thing, that job, that opportunity, that business, whatever it is, and you're concerned, you think it's not going to work. Think about the people who are around you, who are watching you, who look up to you, and who value what you're trying to accomplish. Again, because whatever happens, the reaper comes for all of us. As much as we try to deny it and fight it, it comes. And it comes at inopportune times, and it comes regardless of what we want. It just comes. And so as a result of that, man that is born of a woman is a few days. Exactly. So what ends up happening is a very simple principle, is what are you leaving behind while you're here? And so more importantly, I wanted to challenge you to do this. When you feel compelled to worry about what's happening in your current space, I think the importance, the thing for me is I felt a sense of gratitude and gratefulness. So I'm sitting there going through the ceremony, and part of me was thinking, I'm worried about other things that are happening. I'm worried about what's happening here, at clients. I'm worried about this. I need to be grateful. Not that I have something that I'm working on. I should be grateful that I'm here right now. I recommend looking up Ray Kurzweil about limited longevity in our lifetime. I like Ray Kurzweil. I like he's a very good thought. He's a thought leader. Some people don't like him, but I like him. Yes, thank you, Janae. Yes, gratitude. So first is you got to be gracious. Remind you of what you have. I'm not talking about the things you have. I'm not talking about the job you have. I'm not talking about thankful. I'm not talking about any of that crap. I'm talking about being thankful that you're here right now and that you're cognizant of what you have, right? Worries are lack of faith. Exactly. You're right, Raymond. The problem, though, with this is that we're not taught, right? Like, faith is something that's really, that's required, but it's not something that's easy to have and easy to attain. And so the things you see, faith is basically the evidence of things not seen. And so your senses, you rely so heavily on your senses, it is almost impossible, right, for a lot of people to be able to fight through not being able to see things. There are people who believe in God wholeheartedly, who give their lives, but at some point they've doubted and they've wondered, right? And that's just part of what happens as humans. And so the thing is this. So what I try to do is I try to alleviate the temptation to not believe that faith is there. If you look at a farmer, there's a level of belief, faith, and hope that he or she has, that when they plant that seed in the spring, come harvest time, come the fall, that they're going to have a crop that grows. Because it doesn't matter how many times it's been done before. If you don't believe that it's going to happen, you will not plant the seed to begin with. So there are times there have been famines, there have been times when crops have been decimated, there have been times that the soil is barren and it doesn't actually grow. But at some point in time, you have to look in the mirror and there has to be a level of belief and faith that whatever job I take, whatever business I start, whatever message that I share, that faith is going to be there. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Yes, a funeral is a faith reflection point. Do I believe in what I profess? Yeah, I agree. But it's also a reflection point in so many other ways as well. Not only in what you believe, what you believe, but also what are you doing, right? What life are you living? What are you doing while you are here? So the first is gratitude. The second is faith/hope, right? And so I say gratitude, one, be gracious that you're here. Second is, do you have faith and hope in what you're doing and what you plan on accomplishing? Part of it is spiritual and religious. The other part of it is basically here, who you are mentally. And what levels of legacy are you leaving behind for other people? Right? So when you leave a legacy, you are that farmer who's planting that seed that will grow. Once you are gone, that crop will continue to grow and share. Mind, body, spirit. Yes, I completely dig that, Raymond. And so the last one is as action, right? And Tony Robbins always talks about this, the importance of being resourceful rather than having resources. And every time I hear this point, I always think about back when, I had a business that ended up struggling and cost me a crap ton of money, and I had to close it down. Hey, Kara Allen, good to see you in here. Hey, Danielle, good to see you. DMT Boston, thanks for being in here. Yes, Janae. It's me. It's the only way to get through life. Yes, yeah, I completely agree. And so the last one is action. There are people who are sitting on the fence, who are sitting on the sidelines. There's an amazing motivational, not speech, but words that Steve Harvey shared. And I'm a huge fan of Steve Harvey and what he says. But one of the things that he recently shared, that he not shared, but a lot of you have already heard this. It's called Jump. Oh, thank you so much, Marcel. It's called Jump. And there are a lot of people who are looking back, who want to do things, who want to live a life of passion and purpose, who want to start that business, or want to start go after that dream job, or do that new thing that's different to them, or whatever they're not really comfortable doing, and that they're not really sure about if it will work or not. But, the thing that Steve Harvey says is you have to jump. Every single person that you've seen in your life that is doing well, exceptionally well, who's living a life of purpose and passion, who are soaring by you, they had to jump. There's no way in life that you otherwise would not have been able to get what you want had you not taken the chance and the opportunity to jump. And then it reminded me that I look back. And part of that is like burning the boats. And so I look back at my situation and when I'm in college and I'm about to leave college and all my colleagues and friends are interviewing for jobs, while I'm the one that says, you know what, I'm not going to interview for a job. Instead, I'm going to devote the next several months to trying to play professional basketball. And I'm going to burn my boats and commit to this. And every time that I put that level of commitment in, I've actually succeeded. And if people are faced with death or success, people tend to succeed. There's no other option. And it's hard. 'Cause a lot of people will say, hey, I got bills, I got things to pay. You know what? Regardless of what happens, you're always going to have bills. But what you're not going to have is time. What you're not going to have is what's happening in life. And you got to understand another simple principle. Every opportunity that you think is around may not be around for a long time, right? Every opportunity in life has a lifetime of an opportunity. And so something that you thought was possible for you to do, that window or door may close because you took too long, because you weren't really sure that it may happen. Worst case scenario, you tried it and it didn't work. That's it. Plain and simple. What else are you holding on for? It's like we're holding our last piece of cake until the end. The thing is, you never know when that's going to be. And so why are we living that sort of way? We need to invest in ourselves. If we do not, we will not be successful. Exactly. Which part did I say, Janae? I can't remember. I'm just spitting off the top of my head. Action does make it happen. Yeah, just if you can remind me what I said. I'm just talking. You know, and the thing is, it's like we wake up every day. Oh, about opportunity. Yes. You know, you can have the lifetime of opportunity, but it won't mean anything if you don't take advantage of it in the opportunity of that lifetime, or the other way around. You know, like, and every opportunity you have has a lifetime, has a lifetime associated with it. And there's an expiration date, right? And so many people think that because they wait, I gotta wait until I get this computer. I have to wait until this guy, I talk to this guy, or this girl. I gotta wait until I wake up and do this. I gotta wait until, you know what reminded me of this? When I used to have a clothing line. I used to work with people all the time. And there's like, you know what? I really want a new suit. I really want a new suit be tailored up, but I'm going to do it when I lose weight. Everybody would tell me that every single time. I wait for my tax refund. Exactly. Yes, I am cheap. Good to see you. The people would always say things like that. Yeah, you're right, Kim. The time is now. People would just say, oh yeah, I got to wait till I lose weight. And you know what happened? They never lost weight. They never got that suit. They never bought anything. You know why people will just say that? I've done it myself. I've been in that same boat. I'm going to wait until I will do this when, and so nothing ever happens. But you know the crazier fact? You're right. We lie to ourselves, remember? You know even the crazier fact? When you die, you go. Nobody tells you. There's no countdown. This is not a television show. There's no like slow. There's no like you're going to die in 3 days. That doesn't happen. You just go, right? God told Moses at the Red Sea to stretch. That's a good point. He did say that. Easier to have an excuse than to follow dreams from some people. Exactly. You see, the thing is, though, with humans and for people, it is easier because excuses are easier to create. It is easier to create a story than it is to create the action that takes us to another level. And we're all guilty of that. So let's not get it twisted. I'm not sitting here telling you I'm this special kind of guy. I make excuses myself. We all do. But it's easier. The times that I've succeeded in life, the things that I've gotten in life, my ability to get this book, the level of commitment I had to make to get this book, to write this book, to write 65,000 words in 3 months. It's on a whole nother level, right? And there are people who have not written 65,000 words in their lifetime. I did this in 3 months. After being told you do this in 3 months or there's no book deal. But you understand my simple principle. So the times that I've actually committed 100%, and put everything in and went 120 and put a whole commitment in to get this done, my life has blown up. As a result of this, it became a bestseller. I jumped. And so the thing is, we also have to understand there's continual amounts of jumping we need to make. Exactly. Eric Thomas, that's right, Ring Lawn Care. The tremendous amounts of jumping that needs to happen. And, Steve Harvey also says people will jump. Your parachute, to be frank, your parachute won't open up sometimes. You'll bounce off of some rocks. You get your clothes torn off. You'll have a couple holes in your parachute. But at some point in time, if you continue to do what you're supposed to be doing, you'll soar like everyone else. And I've spent time with millionaires, people who are worth tens, hundreds of millions of dollars, and learned from them, and taken notes from them, and had breakfast and lunch with them, and called them, asked them questions. They tell me the exact same thing. How many of you guys are familiar with Cord Buddy? Cord Buddy is a product that was featured on Shark Tank, and the guy who started it was Travis Perry, and he ended up getting a deal with Robert Herjavec, right? It went really well. The show was great, and this year alone, I ended up meeting him about a month ago. Actually, no, I met him a week ago at a conference in New Jersey that I spoke at. We both spoke at the same conference. And he was telling the audience that his company's about to do $16 million this year. A couple years ago when he met Robert, he was on the tee, he was teetering. He wasn't sure he had to raise some money. He wasn't sure what was going to happen. And after now, they're about to do $16 million this year in revenue. And the thing is this, people were asking him all sorts of questions. They thought he'd have some insider tricks. He just said, look, it's hard work. When he got on Shark Tank, it was a cattle call. It was like trying to get on American Idol, people waiting in line answering questions. That's all that happened. But again, there are people who will say, I don't want to wait in line. And then their dreams goes in a box under the bed, right? There are people who say, I'm not going to put in that extra effort. I'm going to go to bed at 10 o'clock because I need to go to sleep, right? Even though they know that extra 2 hours can be meaningful. That could be the difference between $100,000 or $1 million for their business. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but again, you got to take action. So the one thing Travis and I have become friends, and the one thing that he said was, I had to put tremendous amount of effort into this, and tremendous amount of faith that this was going to work. And the hustle I had to put in and commitment I put in was on a whole different level than anything I've ever experienced. And so, hey, what's going on, Miss All About Me? And so to share that simple principle with you guys, this part of leaving a legacy. Not only the things that you see that are being left behind, the physical things. People remember the work ethic. They remember the attitude. They remember how you made that person feel. They remember how you enriched and engulfed their community and made it a better place. So if anything that you get out of this, I want to challenge you today. When it comes to leaving a legacy, gratitude is important. Taking massive amounts of action is important. Having faith that is possible is important. And I also want you to jump. Thank you so much, Daryl. I really appreciate you saying that. I want you to jump. Whatever it is that you want to do in your life, you have to jump. Anything. It doesn't matter if it's, you jump it anyways. Anything that requires you that you're concerned with, that could require any type of risk, you're jumping. So you might as well just jump completely. How many times have you seen people bungee jump? They don't jump out far enough. They end up hitting their heads on their way down. So I want to challenge you as you leave this scope, as you go on with your day and your week, right? Yeah, I was, Janae, twice. I was about to cry twice. And because I was just thinking about it, I'm sitting there going through the ceremony, the emotions. I'm just thinking about, and I'm thinking about life, and I'm thinking about, if I left everything that I want to leave, I have so much work to do, right? And a lot of people are just living to live. They're just getting by. And the dreams that they have are what's keeping them excited enough, but not excited enough to do what they need to do, or the action they need to take. Yeah, Janae, thank you. My ladies are listening. Oh, thank you so much, Charlene. Hi, Newell. Good to see you. Oh, thanks so much. Guys, there are a lot of people, hey, what's going on, Jets fan? There are a lot of people who want to write books who aren't. Every day is an excuse. They think I can't write. I can't this. I can't. It's taking too long. You write 2 pages a day. In about a year, you have everything you need. In 6 months, you have everything you need. 2 pages a day. That's all it takes. 185 days, 180 days, right? You write a page a day, you have a 180 page book. You write 2 pages a day, you got 360 page book. Plain and simple. Imagine what you wrote. Well, imagine what you would write in 3 months then. Just write. Right? Everything else will take care of itself. Right? You got that business you want to start. Take the time to learn about that business. Find somebody who's already doing it. Model your success after theirs. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jaron. 2 pages a day. That's all you can do. 2 pages a day. If you can't even do that, then talk into something. Do a speech record. Go get a recorder and talk your book out. Very simple. It's very simple hacks you can do. When you break things down, it's simple. When you break down, you know why it works? You know why when you buy a house, you buy a car, or any big ticket item, do you know exactly why the salesperson breaks it down for you? Because your brain is able to be cognizant, it's able to absorb it. It's a sales trick, but it's not even a trick. It's just part of life. If you break everything down, right, to simple days and minutes and months or whatever, it's easier for you it's more palatable. So if someone says a $30,000 car and they tell you it's only going to be $200 a month, you're thinking in your mind, I can afford $200 a month. You're not thinking it's a $30,000 car. If someone's saying buy this house, it's a $300,000 house, it's only $1,000 a month, you're like, oh, that's not bad. That's rent. I can totally handle that. You're not thinking that it's $300,000, right? Every single thing that you buy, that's why they break it down to payments. People are more likely to buy when the payments are lower, even if it's going to take a long time to pay it off. Same thing with your book. Same thing with that project. Same thing with that whatever you're trying to do. If you break it down, right, your brain will start to believe that it's possible, and you'll start taking the steps to move towards that. Plain and simple. That's a trick that I use for every single thing I try to do. I think big, which is great, and then I break that down. So guys, I want to thank you guys for being here. Everything that you want to do is on the other side of your hesitation. It's on the other side of your fear. It's on the other side of what you want. It's on the other side of the things you're trying to accomplish. It's on the other side of regret. It's on the other side of embarrassment, of loss, whatever it is. Everything that you want is on the other side of that. I want to thank you guys for being in here. I want to thank you guys for coming back. Thank you, Kim Spired. Thank you, Marcel. Good to see you all the way in Germany. Wayne, thanks for being in here. The Mook is here. Good to see you, man. Central Station, good to see you. Donita, thank you for sharing. D. Mungro, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a minute. Ring Lawn Care, thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. Integrity, Charlene, Janae, good to see you. Jamel J, thanks for being here as well. Angela, DMT Boston, Frugal, awesome. I met Frugal at FinCon where I spoke. Thank you for sharing. Miss Watkins, 927. Laura Husson was in here as well. Daryl, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. Lo, you are amazing. Thank you so much, Janae. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you came in here, Sister Brown Eyes. Milk Coach, thank you so much, Janae, for being in here as well. Guys, you have a legacy, but the legacy, you got to understand, it's still the last principle. A legacy is not one thing. It's over a long period of time, right? So the essence of growth, of legacy, all these certain words is time. And every single day is incremental addition to what you're doing. A legacy is only done over time because there's incremental additions. Every day something is being left behind. Every day there's something being planted. Every day something being watered. Every day, right? There's a legacy being left. After everything's all said and done, then there's the legacy. Legacy doesn't start automatically. I don't care if you're Bill Gates. It took Bill Gates 30, 40 years to get to the point where now he has the foundation. He's helping people in Africa, right? Every single foundation you know doesn't happen overnight. It's over a sustainable point of time, right? Right? There's incremental additions to what you're doing. So don't think you got to leave a legacy tomorrow, but you have to start today.